Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, wishing you a Merry Christmas. I upload on Mondays, and it's Christmas this go, so we're gonna get the review out. Hope you have a great time with the family today. I'm gonna go ahead and get my review for Holocomm Han Solo out of the way. Hopefully, maybe you guys got a new electronic to watch it on this year, or maybe you're just getting ready to go see your family. But all in all, this is a very neat subline of Black Series with some LEDs added, and I like hologram figures. We've had them in 3.75 before, so let's go ahead and get into the review and see if this Han Solo is a worthy addition to the collection or not. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look at this packaging. This is your standard Black Series Holocomm packaging. It is the size of the deluxe packaging with some unique touches. So up top, you have your Black Series logo on a black background that's a little bit of like blue staticking around the perimeter. That is really nicely done. You have a big window showing Han has accessories off nicely. Down below, you have your Holocomm collection. It's not labeled as being from any particular film. That's nice. Han Solo, warning, 3 AAA batteries required, 4 plus Hasbro. This side of the box features your artwork, which is a really nice hologram Han Solo. Something worth noting is that this hologram Han Solo is actually based on his A New Hope appearance, but the figure is of the Empire Strikes Back, like a blue jacket, like Bespin Han Solo. So that's not really connected, but whatever. Up top, you have your wanted logo. It looks like this one is worth 20,000 credits, whereas I believe Bo-Katan was worth 30,000 credits. Not sure how she ended up being worth more than Han, but that's neat. Down below, you have your Han Solo name. This side of the box over here features a wraparound window, more of that black background with the blue staticking, wraparound blue stripe, and then your Black Series logo at the bottom. Around back, there's no art, there's just a picture of the figure and the effects. You have your Black Series logo, says hologram effect, includes bounty chip, lights up, neat. You have your Black Series logo, his name, and then a bio in varying languages, not about Han Solo, but just about the idea that, receive the transmitted details of your next bounty with the Black Series Holocomm collection, featuring light up holo pucks. So it seems like even though these are hologram figures, they're really focusing on that bounty hunter vibe. Down here, again, Holocomm collection. You have a bunch of legal information, Disney down at the bottom right. Way below that, you have your barcode, a bunch of legal stuff, and a bunch more symbols. Up top, it's where a hanger tab would be, but this one got lost somewhere along the way. And then there is a window, which allows some light in the box if you choose to keep your figures on display packaged. I don't. I open my toys. So let's open them up, take a look at what we get here. Alright, here's Holocomm Han out of the packaging, and as always, let's start by taking a look at the accessories. So for the figure accessories, he actually comes with his trusty DL-44 blaster pistol, looking really nice. It's a very clear plastic with maybe just a hue of blue added to it. It's mostly clear, though. Looks really nice. He features a working hip holster with a strap, which you just push the blaster into like so, and then you strap it in, and it is nice and secure. He also features a working trigger finger on the right hand, so you can just have him carry it if you choose to. Other than that, the only other accessory he comes with is the bounty puck. So this is where the magic happens. We're going to set Han aside briefly. This puck is very identical. I mean, it is identical to the one that comes with the Bo-Katan, which I've already reviewed. The one difference being the sign on the front says he's wanted for 20,000 credits, like I acknowledged while reviewing the packaging. Bo-Katan is actually printed as wanted for 30,000. So something that's neat is that these signs are removable and technically swappable. So if you want to act like Han Solo is a higher value bounty, you can just swap them and say that he's worth 30,000 credits. So that's something that I hadn't noticed or realized with this line, that they would be varying, but that is nice. That is nice. It's a printed detail. It's not a sculpt thing, but it's nice that they're giving us some variety there, which is really cool. Setting Bo off to the side. As I just showed off, the wanted sign pegs in to the front here. Now there you see a female hole in the front. Looking at the puck, otherwise, as you would have your wanted sign in the very front, there are 2 foot pegs. They are not even, there's one behind and then one up in the front. I personally don't like that. However, I've just accepted that I'm only going to have 1 foot pegged on a figure at a time, whereas I wish, because there's 2 pegs, there might be, the ability to use 2 feet. So that's a little frustrating. I wish they aligned, but that's okay. You can actually see through the clearish plastic, the LED diodes in there, and then actually there's Arabesh writing on the motherboard thing in there, the circuit board. So that is really cool. Pretty sure it just says LED. So that's actually That's actually really cool. I do like that. Otherwise, this looks like a bounty puck. As you see, there's a little bit of a rough sculpt. Button here in the front, we'll get there in a second. Underneath, you have a couple screw holes, and then one screw on this big battery compartment takes 3 AAA batteries, which I've pre-installed. So there's some electronic functions here. If you press this button just for a second and let go, see the LEDs come to life there. You have a blue in the center and then 5 white ones around the perimeter, and they all flicker a little bit to give a nice hologram effect. That's really cool. When you press the button briefly and let go, it actually just makes it run for 15 seconds before the LEDs turn out. There you see they dim out. So there's one other function. If you press and hold the button until it lights up, takes a couple seconds for it to light up, just holding, and then you let go. This will actually run the LEDs nonstop for 30 minutes. There's no in between. You can have 15 seconds or 30 minutes. So I think 30 minutes would pretty quickly deplete your entire battery, but maybe you want to do a little video thing, you know, a nice review, and you want the LEDs to be on for 5 minutes, whatever. That's how you would do it. And then, obviously, I'm not going to make this a 30-minute video waiting for it to count down. If I want to turn it off sooner, I can just push the button, and that will make it turn off. That also works for the 15 seconds. So it's on for 15 seconds right now on its timer, but if I don't want 15 seconds, a quick push will shut it down. As mentioned, there's not really any great way to use both feet pegs unless you were to, like, turn your character out of alignment with a wanted sign. So that's kind of just what it's got to be. So I don't want them off to the side or anything like that. So I just prefer to use the back one on the right foot with both of these figures, you know, with the Bo-Katan as well. That's the only other one in the line I've got so far. But there's Han on the stand. Let me go ahead and turn on the LEDs. Ooh, one more push. There we go. And I'm just going to really quick actually turn down some of my lights and give you an idea. So while he's on the table, it's not too bad. Knocking down the lights. I'm not going to be able to turn off my cabinet lighting from here, but it's pretty dim. As you can see, you lose the majority of your light by the time that you get up to about the abdomen crunch on the figure, and basically none of it makes it its way up to the head. But that's okay. It still looks pretty good, and a little bit of light making it through. You know, it's one of those things where you just have to accept, hey, it's an action figure, it's a toy. We're not going to, you know, we're not going to really be able to make this effect look like a true CG hologram effect. But it's a very fun gimmick, I gotta say. So, all the lights back on. Let me go ahead and turn off the puck. And let's just take a quick look at the figure. Now, I gotta say, the figure itself, while cool, I don't think probably anyone's picking this up because they want it to be their definitive on-the-shelf Han Solo, but we gotta take a look at it. I'm gonna real quick bring in the Empire Strikes Back Han Solo from back in the day that this is actually repainted from, or I guess depainted because there's no paint. Something I said on the Bo-Katan figure, and I think it should be said here, is I think doing these in just straight blue plastic, or, you know, like mostly clear with a bit of blue plastic, isn't really the move. I think that they should have added some very minimalist white paint effects here and there, just to give a little bit of life to it. Something that I'm noticing is, like, you lose the eyes in the face sculpt, and I think just a touch of white in there, and then maybe instead of a pupil, you just don't paint a dot in the center, so it's still the plastic kind of bleeding through. Just some very minimal shading here and there really could have gone a long way with the figure, just to make the effect look a little bit more hologram. As is, it just looks plastic. But these are very much a gimmick, a novelty, and it's something that you can pass on if you don't like the effect. I think it's okay as is, but I think it definitely could have been executed a little bit better. But yeah, as you see, if you have this figure, you know exactly what you're getting here. It wasn't the best Han Solo sculpt. It was actually pretty good for the time, though, so I don't really mind it coming back, especially without paint, you know, kind of just hiding it. But it's, you know, just an old, dated figure, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it looks really good. Something that I do like about these hologram figures, and yeah, and it's honestly probably a detractor, but just as someone who's very interested in the engineering of this kind of thing, I like how you can look in the joints and see, like, the rings of the ankle pivots and the pins all the way through the discs in the knee, and, you know, the rings in the elbow joints there. It probably does detract from the overall look, but I'm just very interested in the engineering of these, so it's kind of like them giving me a way to see how they did it. I always grew up watching shows like How It's Made and such, so I've always had a mind for that kind of stuff, and I just like how this looks. But real quick, let's run through some articulation and call it a wrap, why don't we? So he features a double ball neck, one of the earlier figures to feature that. You can look that far up, that far down. He can rotate and get some pivot in there. His arms can come up to a higher than a T-pose, which is nice, but there's no butterfly joint. That's fine. 360 at the shoulder with single jointed elbows that go a touch past 90 and rotate. 360 on the wrist with the left hinging in and out and the right hinging up and down, which is nice. Mid-torso ball joint allows him to crunch that far forward, that far back. There goes Bo-Katan. You get some side-to-side pivot and rotation. His legs can come out and do the splits. Go straight forward, not much back. Upper thigh rotation, double jointed knees. Very clicky, but they can go that far. There we go. His feet can point basically straight down, pretty far forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get him into some pretty decently wide stances with both feet flat on the ground. To do some size comparisons, here he is next to Bo-Katan from the same line, the only other Holocomm I have so far. I will be tracking down the Mandalorian, however. I'm pretty excited for that one. And here he is next to his normal self. So yeah, I think it looks alright. So here's Han with all the lights out, and as I mentioned, yeah, the light just doesn't make it to the head. It's alright, it's a novelty. I think get him in a little bit of a low light room, but not pitch black like I've turned it to, and I think it'll look a bit better. But maybe I'll just turn on just a little bit of light there. There we go. But end of the day, what do I think of the Holocomm Han Solo? I think it's cool. It's a neat line. I'm not going to pick up every single one of them. I've got Bo, I've got Han, I'm probably going to pick up Mando. I don't think I want the X-Wows. The Ahsoka is tempting. I get everything Ahsoka related. But all in all, you know, it's neat. It's not a must pick up. It's just a neat gimmick. I'm happy that Black Series is experimenting with LEDs. That's kind of where I'm at on this whole thing. It is cool that we're actually getting just a touch of LED work in the line. They've never done anything with LEDs other than like a blinking light and a helmet here or there. But you know, we've gotten vehicles and they don't have any LEDs on the engines or anything. And like, this is really like the figure range's first LED anything. And I like how these have turned out so far. I think that, you know, they could definitely use, you know, this technology going forward for some cooler effects. And I'm excited to see where the line goes. I mean, I think, you know, that I'm definitely going to make a video on these Holocomms because I could see some future releases, but I think they got to drop this bounty hunter puck idea and do a different base wave per wave to give you some different eras. But all in all, it's a neat figure. I really like the blue Han Solo, and I recommend it. But if you're like, it's too gimmicky for me, I get it. Thanks for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the end of video stuff. You know the drill. I will catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and goodbye.